raw as this. Good evening and welcome.
Karen Corcoran-Gummin there, a human detection analyst, testifying as to human remains found, or at least the detection of it found in the home of Mark Redwine. Let's go to our guest here this afternoon, Philip Dube. He's a Los Angeles County public defender. Going to help me walk through some of the testimony we've seen so far. Philip, this witness, Karen Corcoran-Gummin, she is an important witness for the prosecution in that she has detected, or is testifying, there was the detection of human remains at Mark Redwine's home.
Yeah, that's a big problem. What the defense is going to have to establish, though, is that the scientific reliability of these human remain dogs, or human cadaver type remain dogs, is scientifically unreliable. And hopefully they have an expert that can come in and counter that. What I'd like to know, though, is if Dylan obviously was at some point in the house in life, could his odor post-mortem putrefy or become malodorous and erroneously get detected by these dogs?
Right. Yeah, we need to know exactly what kind of scent these dogs picked up, and whether, as you say, the science is reliable. But in your experience, though, is this kind of evidence reliable? I mean, you talk about the defense having to put on a counter witness. Does that happen?
Oh, sure. Of course it does. Especially if there is a dispute among the scientists in that field as to the scientific accuracy and reliability of those dogs. The issue is going to be really for this jury, is the dog picking up the scent of Dylan in life or afterlife? It's my understanding that the scent of decomposition doesn't really begin till 24 to 72 hours post-mortem or after death. So I'm assuming that if, God forbid, Mark Redwine is in fact the young boy's killer, that the body didn't hang around in the house for beyond 24 up to 72 hours, because if that's the case, then the bulk of the science suggests the dogs can pick that up. But my hunch is that if he in fact, did this boy in, that his remains were removed from that house relatively quickly after death.
Interesting. Let's talk about this witness, though, generally. I mean, as I said, an important witness for the prosecution, but wouldn't the defense claim that this witness is a hired hand, someone who is intrinsically biased for the prosecution and against Mark Redwine?
Of course. They're obviously doing this for a fee. This is not a pro bono, charitable donation. It's not as if this expert has a 501 organization and seeks tax exemption. This is a profitable enterprise for this woman, I'm assuming. But likewise, the defense is going to have to counter it with an expert that's also getting paid handsomely. They're not going to work for free.
Right. I mean, it kind of works both ways for sure. Right. And Philip Dube, if you were the defense attorney in this case, how would you get around some of this testimony here? I mean, obviously, this is a technical witness for the prosecution. How would you spin this?
Well, the scientific opinion of any expert is only as good or as valid as the data and information relied on in forming the opinion, the scientific literature, etc. In my opinion, I don't think there's enough scientific data for this expert to render an opinion. If you recall, she said, in rendering her opinion about what was hit on or picked up on or alerted in the house, was this area near the washing machine. But then when counsel asked her on cross about how many cases she's worked on where, detection was picked up in a washer dryer room, she said maybe one. For purposes of beyond a reasonable doubt, they should have ironclad, tried and true statistical data before an expert takes the stand and just shoots this type of opinion from the hip.
Absolutely, and that is something that we may be able to see more closely as the defense continues their questioning in the case. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll have more of the testimony in Colorado versus Mark Redwine ahead. You're watching Afternoon Session on Law and Crime.